Hey, 10C podcast people, bless you. We are on the bottom of page 27, you may be on page 28. And we're now on to example 2A on page 231, and I guess I'm going to have to do that to let them see. So page 231, example 2A. This is going to be like a question you have now on this section. Yesterday you had the question 8 to 2/3. Now it's 8 to the negative 2/3. So the only difference is it's going to be 1 over your answer from yesterday. Remember math karate? Negative exponent equals 1 over 1 over. So you write down, as soon as you see a negative exponent, 1 over 8 to the positive 2/3. The only difference from today than yesterday is you're going to write down 1 over a lot. And we're going to have a shortcut as well. Okay, so 1 over 2/3. And now you're going to do your work in the denominator. So is this square root or third root? This is cubic root. The denominator equals the root, or the index, which is the same thing. So cubic root of 8 all squared. Start writing this down, somebody. Let's go down, ready? Stop thinking about girls. And then cubic root of 8 is 2. So 1 over 2 squared equals 1 over 4. So yesterday your answer was 4. Today it's 1 over 4. Hello, sir.
If we just go straight to 1 over 4 without doing the 1 over 2 squared, is that a mark loss?
You're going to lose all of your marks because you didn't show any of this work. And I don't care if you know how to use your calculator. Okay? Calculator is not what we're after. We're after for understanding that you know what a negative exponent means. You know you can rewrite a rational exponent or a fractional exponent to a root, and then you can simplify it without using a calculator. Okay? Okay, I want you to do these ones right now in your textbook. If you don't have your textbook, I'll write them on the board. But if you have a textbook, go to page 233 and do 6A, 8A, and 9A. And I will move this up a little so you get this, Tim. And then 6A, okay, go ahead and do these, my friends. I will write them on the podcast. What the heck happened there? Hopefully you get that on your next test. So weird. Get out of here, box. So 2 to the negative third from yesterday, which is 1 over the positive. That's a terrible tree. Come on, smartboard. Maybe we need a fine mark or something. Come on, Dragon's Den. I want a Dragon's Den. We're going to be rich and famous. 8A, 3 to the negative second. Well, that's the same thing as we just did. 9A, okay, here's the new stuff today. 9A is 4 to the negative 1/2. And I'm going to do G right now. We were supposed to do G after we practice, but I feel like you are on a roll. So do those, please. 6 and 8 are review. 9 is using this example. Okay, what do? You have a negative rational exponent, you just go 1 over. 1 over, 1 over, 1 over. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Done, done. 2 questions. Quick questions. They don't take very long time. Yay. Oh, yeah. Oh, no wonder. I was 1 step ahead of myself on the shortcut. And of course, podcast people, we did the first half of the class, we wrote a quiz. on pages 1 to 19. How many times are we going to do this question? 3 to the negative second. All right, more fun. 4 to the negative 1/2 is 1 over 4 to the positive 1/2. You don't have to write that step if you don't want to, but I'm going to as we're just starting this, which means 1 over the square root of 4, and the square root of 4 is just 2. Don't forget your 1 over, okay? Don't put 1 over one time and then leave it and put the answer as 2. The answer is 1 over 2, not 2. You got to bring 1 over, 1 over, 1 over. This one's a little trickier. You might want to star these because they're new. You have to, and you'll certainly see them on the test. 9 to the negative 3/2 is 1 over 9 to the positive 3/2. And then we make sure you know if this is cubic root or square root. So it's square root of 9. Take the denominator, all cubed. And you do it one step at a time. What's the square root of 9? 3. And what's 3 cubed? I might as well put it beside here. 1 over 27. You want to get that? Yep. All right, each row has a thumb up. Good job. Okay, if you didn't, write it down. It looks like a super long question, but it is just quick steps, right? It doesn't take long to do them. But yeah, please write down. Never go from here to here. Never go from here to the answer right away, because that's not worth marks. You're going to lose 90% of your marks. Yeah, I need to see the steps where you explain that a negative exponent is 1 over the positive exponent. You explain that 9 to the 3/2 means the square root of 9 all cubed, and then you evaluate that. Homework, including your other Friday homework from yesterday. Textbook again, page 233. 8, Bobby. 9, CDF. 13, AB. Which is what it says on the bottom of page 27 or in your book, your handouts a little later. Nice to do a couple shortcut questions, which we've already done. So there we go. Let's do example 2b. So this is now on the next section, the last section of this unit. And this example is on page 231, but you don't have to write it down because you'll see the answer, and I'd rather you not see the answer until we do it. So this, as previously discussed, is a shortcut. So this is the only time where you see a negative exponent, you don't write down 1 over. Thank you. So it's when you have a fractional base and a negative exponent, that equals the shortcut. And the shortcut equals flip. So you don't do this if you don't have a negative sign. So this has to be a negative exponent for the shortcut to work. If it is, you flip the 9 into 16, and you turn the negative exponent into a positive exponent. Now, the reason why you do that, and I could show you, but it would take lots of time, and you should have already been showing us already. Oh, maybe not. But it's multiplying by the reciprocal. So divide, this means divide 9 divided by 16. So if you multiply by the reciprocal, you're flipping, and that's where that flipping shortcut comes in. Now, you're going to apply the exponent. You don't have to write this step. You can square root it right away. But I'm just going to show you where it comes from. So that means the top to the 3/2, the bottom to the 3/2. And now you square root 16, all cubed, and you square root 9, all cubed. This looks a little longer, but it's basically just 2 questions at once. Now, what's the square root of 16? You knew that before you met me. What's the square root of 9? Wasn't that good times before you met me? Weren't you so happy? And I think 64 is pretty much on our brain now because we've seen it a few times. 4 cubed is 64. 27th is the answer. Dun dun dun. What does that leave for you? Do this question, please. 16. So this is check your understanding. 2a. 16 to the negative. No. Better than that. Let's go to B. 25/36 to the negative 1/2. Is that shortcut? Does it have a fractional base? Yep. Does it have a negative exponent? Yep. Will it always? No. Half the time it's going to have a positive exponent. You don't flip it. If it has a negative exponent and a fractional base, you flip her. Says the dolphin. Alright, you go. Get this one under our belt. And ready for the last bit of homework for Friday. So remember, you have Friday homework. You may or may not have done last night or in class. And now I just gave you a little bit, and I'm going to give you just a little bit after this as well. Same page. Give you another 99 seconds because that's all we got before class ends. But first step, know it. You have to flip the 36 and the 25 because you're multiplying by the reciprocal, and then you turn. You don't flip the exponent. If you want to write it down, write that down, but you never flip the exponent. You flip the base and you keep the exponent the same. You just get rid of the negative, okay? Now, exponent of 1/2 we learned yesterday means it's square root. So you square root the top, you square root the bottom, and tell me that equals 6/5. Your homework is in your handout again. It says page 233, 7 Bobby, 8 Donald Duck, 13 Def. You're done the unit once we track the homework tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow you'll get your quiz back. That's Friday. Your test is when?
Monday.
Monday. Perfect timing for Monday's test. Take a picture of and then just take a picture, just tell us you touch it. No one touches anyone else's notes. You good? Okay, please wash your desk. Thank you, thank you. Oh, am I still? I am. Now that's awesome day.